what I see most amateurs do is just rewind the shoulders out. Well, now that shoulder's actually further back, that's poison right there. Yeah, it's like when you lean over there, yeah, it's like a bracing, right? It's like all of a sudden pressure, you know, that shaft's in line with that arm, nice, solid, right? Yeah. Yep. You heard of stack and tilt before?
I have not.
As far as stack and tilt goes, it's kind of a left-sided biased idea, which means that right here I would have like my weight feeling just a bit more on the left side, you know, so it would be 60-40 on the left, right? If you're looking for improving contact, right? And the idea is this, is like if I put 60% of my weight over here just by leaning my belt buckle over, I move this lower center over so that the odds of me clipping the grass in front of the ball are pretty good.
Sure.
Most of us start center, 50-50, wind up, and then we need to shift over to do it.
Yep.
And desk jockeys, the guys who are, you know, in the office all day and haven't played sports and stuff, it's hard, you know.
Yep.
So this is a little, a good way for guys to go, look, 60-40 over here, heads on the ball, and that way I can strike the ground over by my left ankle, which is taking the divot after the ball. And so it's a good way maybe for you when you start to get into hitting some wedges, you know, those approach wedges. I don't know how good you are with those, but...
Medium.
Medium.
Yeah.
Better.
Today was good.
I mean, today was great. Shot even par for the first time ever. I mean, that's pretty
Today
sweet,
was
dude.
good, but today was good, but you know,
hey.
mixed.
So anyway, stack and tilt's like lean over here, 60-40 over here, handle inside of left thigh, heads over the golf ball. Then I just kind of clear my right hip back, arms go in, and I shift even more over to hit the ball, then the ground. Stack and tilt. Hey guys, what's going on? Gorminator here. I just wanted to touch on contact. Crisp contact with the irons, taking a divot after the golf ball. I mean, it's discussed a lot. You know how when you top the ball or you maybe chunk behind it, you know, get rid of those errors. Shaft lean is a big one that's talked about out there, and I do want to talk about that at address. So here's a 9-iron. I'm going to put the ball roughly right in the middle of my stance, and then the handle in, I always put at the inside of my left thigh. So as I look down at the stick here, has a little bit of an angle forward, shaft lean, right? It lines up to this left arm a bit more than if it was even right here. So a stronger position is getting it lined up inside of the left thigh with every iron, and that builds in a structure that looks like a lowercase y rather than a capital Y. Okay, good contact, hitting ball then turf. You know, getting that club to crush the ground after hitting the golf ball. So shaft lean is important, but how do we get the shaft lean at contact? Because we're going to take this shaft that's set up here inside of left thigh, we're going to wind it all the way around, get it up here somewhere, and then come back down to that golf ball, and we're hoping that things are lined up nice to hit a good shot, right? That trail shoulder right now is about in line with that yellow stick. You know, that's really what I wanted to talk about, is how to move your body to get your shaft lean. So as I can go back here and get shaft lean, but I'm not going to hit the ball solid. I can go ahead like a Scheffler, and you know how solid he hits it. Moving your body in position dynamically to achieve the leaning shaft for a descending entry into the ground after crushing the ball. That's what we're after. Just to think about this, my zipper is over the white stick, the hands are inside of the left thigh, my head's over the golf ball. I do have a 9-iron here. My right shoulder is in line with this yellow stick. Now, when I take my backswing, I keep my head quiet, I wind up my hips, left arm goes back, you know, looking good here. Okay, but now what about the shoulder? It moved from here, in line with the stick, all the way around back. It's going to end up back behind me some. And then what I see most amateurs do is just rewind the shoulders out. Well, now that shoulder's actually further back, because the tailbone kind of swirled back this way, that's poison right there. Every good player on tour looks like this when they hit. You can see my shoulder now has moved past that yellow stick, somewhere in line, just slightly behind the white stick. I put that stick there for myself to say, look, I start here with the right shoulder. The right shoulder winds up behind me with good arm action there. Okay, head's quiet. And then I start to shift my body lower body goes, and my upper body starts to rotate forward. So you can see now my hips are ahead of my upper body, but the shoulder has moved all the way to here. That's probably about 2 inches forward. So like I said, here's what I see, right? Look where my shoulder is there. Pendulum is another good thought, because what I tell you is, like, look, 12 o'clock is my head. Ball's in the middle. Striking 6 o'clock is the flat spot. Well, I don't want a flat spot. I want a descending blow, which is going to mean the flat spot should be ahead. So as this club head starts at 6 and goes up to, 5, 4, 3 over here, then it's going to go to 3, 4, 5, 6, flat spot. But if I shift, it's going to go 3, 4, 5, 6 will be ahead of the golf ball. So when you think about that, you go, well, yeah, I want to be ahead. Well, look at Scheffler, man. That dude is like here. He's all the way over here. He's not only got the lower center way over here, but the upper center, the right shoulder is like on the golf ball. You can see that, right? So understanding that you don't just rotate back and forth, because if you do, your right shoulder will typically be further back behind than it started. And the right shoulder is key for you to crush the ball first. So I go back this way, I shift, and I just try to sense that my right shoulder is moving under me forward. There you go. You can see the turf taken right after hitting the ball. Got that one really nice. Right shoulder starting roughly about 3 inches, 4 inches behind the golf ball, right? Because the ball's in the middle. Okay, if I have a ball up forward with a 5-iron, then I'm going to really inspire myself to get up here. Sometimes if you have the ball too far back, you might scull it on top of the ball because the club is still working down and you've got it so far back, and if it comes this way, you might hit the equator of the ball, or just kind of scalp it this way and top it. So knowing where the ball position is to your body is super key. And a lot of my students, I tell them, look, man, you got 2 touch points in the game. You've got your feet on the ground and your hands on the club. And then we drop the ball somewhere between our feet. Drivers up here, maybe wedges are in the middle, somewhere in between for 5-irons. But it plays a super big, important deal. I had a guy with a driver yesterday, had the ball so far forward it was outside of his shoulder socket, and that is the center of the swing, that left arm for us right-handers. And the 0 points here, you can see if I held this straight up like this, and I'll step back a little bit, and I just move from this left shoulder on the side. If I move the arm this way, you can see how the club went down in an arc. And if I move it this way, it goes down in the arc over here. So you can see that, and that's the same thing that's going on here. It's going up, down, and back up. So where you put that ball is massive, and how you move your body is going to really help you understand about how to hit the ball and compress it. If you want to hit ground after the ball, you can see here, relative to that white stick, I'm just marking it all day long over here. You see on Hogan's 5 Lessons book, he looks right here at impact. Hips are shifted, zippers over the ankle, handles over the ankle, left shoulders over or past the ankle. If I go back here and I just rotate, my tailbone's actually going to move away from the target this way, leaving the shoulder way back here, and I can't get the compression on the golf ball. Doing soft shots, chip shots, when you're starting to work on shifting your weight, shifting the center of your gravity. And there's 3 of them. You got your head, the sternum, and your pelvis or belly button. And so what I'm explaining to you guys is like, hey, let's make sure that you move this shoulder forward like this. And you see that all the time, right? It just feels right. And if I'm rotating back and only rotate forward, I'm not going to have a good time hitting that ball solid. So here we go. I'm going to keep my head centered here, shift to the white with my right shoulder. So nice crashing divot there, that 9-iron, inside the left thigh. Boom. Just going like this. So it's kind of like the edge of your neck here. You could say my shoulder needs to get there. It's probably about 6 inches away right here. So I want to replace where the edge of my neck is with my right shoulder. You see that? And if I just spin, that right shoulder's working in a circle, but it's not going forward. All right. So we need to feel like we're stepping into it, delivering with the shift, the head behind the shift, the right shoulder moving, and you'll see the CGs are like 1, 2, 3. This one's the most forward. As Ben Hogan would say, closest thing to the target was his belt buckle. Okay, then we got the sternum and then the head. And when you want to hit, like, let's say you want to hit an extra high 9-iron, you could move the ball up. So I'm going to move it up here, right? But I got to get myself forward still. And this ball will go super high. You guys can't see that, but it's like a balloon up there. So if I want to hit it stock and keep hitting nice divots here, you've got to really just keep moving here. You know, get that visualization of like, wow, okay, I can take that shoulder and move it forward and wind it up behind me. And I kind of think of it this way. It's like, as I start here and the right shoulder's over my foot here, as I wind up to you, you can see my right shoulder now is where? Between my feet. It's kind of like over the stick here, right? Well, I'm going to leave it there. In a sense, I'm going to leave it there and move forward, right? So like this, I don't want to get back here and then rewind it. You can see my tailbone started going this way. Right shoulder came out in front of me, and there's no way I'm going to hit the ground over here. I might hit it okay, but it's going to be thin, okay? So inside of left thigh with the shaft, you can see that there. Got it? Setting up here. I'm going to wind that baby up. Head stays quiet. Scheffler. Okay. Good contact. That's how we do it. So now you've stacked yourself into the driver, right? Well, how'd that feel, Shane?
So good. Yeah, just one after the other.
Stack and tilt.
Stack and tilt. That's right.
I mean, it's just like now.
Yeah, no,
you've never heard of these three systems, and now we've named it something. We talked about anchoring.
Yep.
And how the machine can do more repetitive angles coming in if you lock it in, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Feels good.
And we did the irons that work great. And you said, I'm going to hit some drives because they're crazy. And then I explained that when the machine's moving to the right, if you try to extend those arms away from you that way, it's going to tug you that way, and then the ball ends up more forward.
Yep.
So you were just like, okay, I'm going to lock it in over here. Stack style.
I feel stacked in. Yeah,
Stacked
locked in.
Yeah, locked in.
Yeah, feels good.
Yeah. Are you experiencing difficulties with your golf game? Did you know there are 3 major league systems that are used on the tour today, where the real-time adjustments are made by the tour players so that they can shoot better scores under the extreme conditions, and so can you. So just click the link down below. It'll take you to a free quiz. We'll determine which system is better for you so that you can hit your goals and drastically improve your game, just like a tour player. All right, we'll see you on the other side.